Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to share a very personal story. One that changed my life in ways I never expected. It's about love, trust, control, and ultimately, finding the courage to stand up for yourself when everything feels like it's falling apart. Sometimes it's the smallest things, a weekend trip with friends, that reveal the biggest truths about a relationship. This story is raw, honest, and maybe even a little painful, but I hope it resonates with anyone who's ever felt trapped or unheard. So, grab a seat, and let's dive into a journey about discovering freedom and reclaiming yourself when the ones you love try to hold you back. I feel compelled to share a deeply personal experience that remains etched in my soul, a moment that shattered my world and forever altered how I view trust, love, and freedom. It all began with something that seemed so simple on the surface: my husband forbidding me from attending a small weekend retreat with close friends. But the fallout from that decision revealed a truth so profound, it forced me to confront the hardest choice of my life. Here's the full story: how it quietly began and how it transformed everything. For years, my closest friends and I, women I met during college, had nurtured a bond that felt unbreakable. Despite the relentless grind of adult life, we had always managed to carve out moments for each other, sharing laughter, secrets, and support. After months of planning, we arranged a modest weekend getaway, just a chance to escape the chaos, breathe deeply, and reconnect on a deeper level. I was genuinely excited. The demands of work, home, and family had weighed heavily on me, leaving little space to simply be. This trip was my sanctuary, a necessary pause to restore my spirit. I told my husband, Mark, about the retreat well ahead of time, confident that transparency would prevent any misunderstandings. Initially, he seemed calm, almost encouraging. "That sounds great, Emily. Have fun and relax," he said. His easygoing response filled me with hope. Maybe this would be good for us both. But as the date approached, his demeanor shifted subtly. His questions started to multiply and sharpen. Who exactly would be there? Where were we staying? What activities were planned? The warmth in his voice faded, replaced by an undercurrent of doubt, almost suspicion. I tried to reassure him gently. "It's just a girls' weekend, Mark. We'll unwind, maybe treat ourselves to a spa visit, share some meals, watch movies. Nothing extravagant." But he pressed harder, his questions growing more insistent, his tone less patient. With every conversation, I could feel a distance growing between us, a tension I couldn't ignore. Then came the night everything fell apart. Mark looked me straight in the eyes and said firmly, "I don't want you to go." I was stunned, speechless for a moment. "Why not?" I managed to ask, my voice trembling. "What's wrong with spending a weekend with your friends?" He avoided my gaze, his voice cold and detached. "I just can't allow it." I begged him to explain. Was he worried? Did he doubt me? Was there something more he wasn't saying? But he remained silent, his words clipped and evasive. I felt trapped, confused, hurt beyond measure. How could the man I loved, the person I trusted most, deny me something so simple and meaningful? In the days that followed, I poured every ounce of energy into trying to heal the rift between us. I spoke softly, explaining how crucial this trip was for my mental and emotional well-being. I emphasized that it wasn't about avoiding him or neglecting our marriage, but about caring for myself too. I proposed compromises, maybe just one night instead of two, frequent check-ins to ease his worries. But Mark stood firm, his stance cold and unyielding, as if building a wall between us brick by brick. The evening before the trip, I packed my bags with a heavy heart. I didn't want to hurt him, but I needed this weekend. For my sanity, for my happiness. As I stepped out the door, relief mixed with dread swirled inside me. Relief that I was honoring my own needs, but dread about the consequences. That night, the real blow came. Mark called, not to check on me or wish me well, but to deliver a crushing ultimatum. "If you go," he said, voice flat and final, "then our marriage is over." My heart dropped. I stared at my phone, unable to believe that a weekend with friends could bring our entire life crashing down. I pleaded, begged him to reconsider, to talk it through, to remember everything we'd built together. But his voice was like ice. "You betrayed my trust," he said. "You chose your friends over me. It's done." That night, I cried harder than I ever had before. Shattered, bewildered, furious, and terrified all at once. The days after were agonizing. Every attempt at conversation only deepened the divide. Mark held tight to his ultimatum as though it were carved in stone. I realized then that no amount of pleading or reasoning would change his mind. My world was crumbling. Yet, amid the wreckage, a quiet clarity began to emerge. This wasn't just about a weekend away. It was about control, about respect, about trust, or the devastating absence of it. I understood with painful certainty that I deserved a partner who celebrated my happiness, who encouraged my growth, and who trusted me even when I was miles away. With that realization came the first spark of my new beginning. I turned my focus inward, toward healing, toward reclaiming my identity beyond the confines of a relationship that no longer felt safe. I leaned on my friends, the very same women who had planned the retreat, who wrapped me in unwavering support during my darkest moments. The divorce was grueling, marked by tears, tough conversations, and moments when I doubted myself. But each day I grew stronger. That weekend getaway transformed from a simple trip into a symbol of self-advocacy, a testament to fighting for your own needs, even when it means risking everything you thought you had. If you're reading this and feeling trapped by someone else's refusal to let you live fully, please know this. Your feelings are valid. Your choices matter. Your freedom is vital. Sometimes the most painful struggles lead to the most essential liberation. The freedom to be your truest self. Thank you for taking the time to hear my story. If you're facing something similar, I would be honored to listen and support you. And if stories like this resonate, keep watching, because sometimes another person's truth can ignite the courage to carve your own path.